Representatives in a federal structure are lawmakers who represent the interests of their constituents at the federal level. They are highly revered because they are the voice of the people. But it is always very difficult to get a genuine and selfless representative for the people. Thus, the process of choosing a credible candidate has always been a Herculean task for the electorate as they seek for one with integrity, a selfless personality, and a voice that can echo their innermost feelings when it matters most. There is no doubt that these are the qualities that the people of Abakaliki Izzi Federal Constituency saw when they re-elected Right Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga in the last 2015 general elections to represent them at the House of Representatives, and this has paid off.
In 2007, I contested the election into House of Representatives to represent Abakaliki Izzi Federal Constituency from Ebonyi State, and won, was inaugurated, and subsequently 2011, 2015 was in National Assembly to date, and that's the wish of my people, and I've been serving them till date in the House of Representatives.
Born on July 18, 1961, Honorable Ogbaga attended St. Joseph College, Igbegu, Abakaliki, where he obtained teacher's grade certificate in 1984. He studied education at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where he graduated in the year 1992, obtaining bachelor's degree in education. He proceeded for his postgraduate studies in education at Ebonyi State University and obtained a master's degree in education and administration. Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga has always been passionate about serving the people. He has had his fair share of experience in grassroots politics as he was the chairman of Abakaliki local government area of Ebonyi State from 1999 to 2002. Since elected to the House of Representatives in 2015, the Right Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga has carved a niche for himself by the way and manner he has carried his legislative duties. His voice keeps resonating on the floor of the House as he executes his legislative business.
Certain tradition in Nigeria does not give the wife a right in areas where she comes from. And if we give this opportunity, we will create crisis in marriages. Marriage is an institution that needs to be respected. We have to look at the merits of this bill, not on political angles, because we are not only talking about people contesting elections. The right of having share of other issues and positions should also be taken into consideration. So option in this regard may not be very important to Nigerians. If we are having tribunals, the issue of giving women options should not exist. We should look at it at opportunities given to Nigeria and aspect of area where individuals are coming from. By marriage, a wife is tied to the husband and she belongs to where the husband belongs. I call on my dear colleagues that if this bill should fly for the second reading, the issue of giving wives option should be deleted from it. And we look at it on other things shareable to our Nigerians.
He has sponsored several bills, motions, and contributed to discuss on national issues which, when aggregated, reflect his commitment to the development of the Nigerian nation.
In the plenary of the House of Representatives, no member or the masses would say I'm a sleeping type of member. I am a very contributing member of the National Assembly during plenaries, during committees, and I always try to make sure that issues concerning the masses are at the top list of what I try to defend. I contribute in motions, I contribute in debates, I also move my own motion and support others when they are having good bills or motions. So all these are things that are dear to the heart of the people I represent. At the moment, we should be talking about 19 bills, the ones that have scaled first, second to third readings, and ones that have been signed into law by Mr. President. So most of them have something to do with the economy and the institutions. The one dearest to my heart is the bill on franchise.
Smooth model of business. It makes it very simple for you. It's just an agreement. The rigors of registering your particular name, sourcing fund, is reduced by that name which is already in existence. But it has to be guided by law.
Today in Nigeria, there is no law guiding franchise before this bill. You see, we have wrong companies that changes name from one organization to another. For instance, you will pass a filling station where you have Total. After a few months, you see Musa and Sons. You pass a restaurant where you have Mr. B's. After a little while, you see Madame Chassis and family. So this tells you that franchising was not properly working in Nigeria because there was no regulations, there was no control, there was no intercession between the owner of that franchised organization to the franchisee. So when you look at all this, you see that there is need, both international franchise and local franchise, they were not working because it is just the way the owner, the parent owner of the company decide that the operation goes. If a course is off today, the franchisor cannot in any form do anything else than to accept the decision of the master. So, but with this law, the NAPTEP, we have control over the activities of the go-between between the parent company and the person using it as franchise. So it was so dear to my heart because it touches every aspect of the economy. You see people in the oil sector, you see people in trade, mission, you see people in ordinary manufacturing sections. So these are that was the key thing that I thought of. I also partaked in what I thought was part of my agenda coming to the National Assembly. The third tier of government was also an issue. It was an appendage to the state, where they are tied together with the state, where they have joint account, made them look as an appendage to the state. But with their constitutional amendment, which I was part of, I was so happy. It has come first, second time, and at this moment, the state are responding to it, even though the state government is still fighting that it should not pass as the National Assembly deemed fit. But it is good to make a mark. It is good to tell the world where you are thinking towards. So I also appreciate the effort made in that direction. So, but at the moment, other things we can look at was the build on competition. Many organizations monopolize what they produce. And when there's no competition, the masses, the consumers suffer. And it's only by strengthening consumer protection to allow competition in every aspect. Like if you import things and it's only you who is solely doing it. Look at what we are passing through in cement. Even though there are so many cement factories in Nigeria, but the price have remained static. All the importation of cement, all other producers have been stampeded to leave the sector. And what the competition law is trying to do is to allow everybody put in his or her best and be able to compete in the market. Competition brings down prices, and when this is done, the beneficiaries are the masses, and it helps get to wherever you want it, because one, if you have a center of bringing in something, one, the transportation will vary the prices, but where there are operational sectors, operational ends to one issue, the price goes down, it is brought nearness to the people in different directions. So I believe these are major key things that affect the life of not only my constituents, but the entire Nigerians.
From what I have seen, since 2015 I've been here with him, that again I'll say he has acquitted himself very, very well. He has moved quite some good motions concerning his constituency. Of course, he has also sponsored quite a number of bills.
We do not need a law to even enforce constitutional provisions. And the agency we are talking about is not a revenue-driving agency. It is a service agency from their functions. In Section 4, A to M of this Act, they're all service provisions. And I wonder if my brother and colleague did some study of this Act and the functions of the agency is talking about. Other service agencies, the cues is taken from other service agencies. And even from the provisions of the appropriations given to the agencies, some of these service facilities are not provided. It is their personnel and other recurrent issues that are provided, believing that with the little stipend they get, that is not purely of revenue, that they can sustain doing sensitization on our investment opportunities, providing information on the incentive to incoming investors. Commercialization in Nigeria has become entirely a different issue. When government property is given on concession, the issue of agreement or consideration for this concession are never kept, and nobody cares about it. The first step into it is to go into litigation. I cite two instances of International Trade Fair Complex in Lagos. Since the time it was given on concession till today, the concessionaire has paid nothing into the government coffers. The Tafawa Balewa Square is the second instance, Mr. Speaker, where from the first year of concession, they have been in court, and every reference made to it are referred to office of the Vice President. And letters come to committees to say you should stay action on this issue, that the office of the Vice President is looking into it, thereby defrauding the government and the people of Nigeria rights of certain infrastructures. In short, in the International Conference Center, International Trade Fair Complex today, there are portions of the property that has been given out for private builders to build residents and other commercial facilities, which is outside the concession given to the concessionaire. So in talking about the infractions on this new arrangement, we should be talking to the federal government to look at the old concessions given before today, before we even talk about the legality of the Federal Executive Council giving any of these facilities on concession.
Right Honorable Sylvester Obinna Ogbaga commands respect among his colleagues and the leadership of the House. His astuteness and intellectual prowess convinced the leadership of the House of Representatives to make him the chairman, House Committee on Commerce, a responsibility he has carried out successfully.
He is the chairman of a committee, and I want to believe he has done well on all fronts. He has an excellent relationship. Again, let me emphasize that. He has a very good relationship with the leadership of the National Assembly, and I think that also must count very highly for him. On the whole, I think not just his constituency, I think Ebonyi State stands to benefit from having such caliber of experienced persons here at the National Assembly.
Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga's contributions to the formation of important bills and motions on the floor of the House of Representatives and his charisma has earned him some accolades from his colleagues.
Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga, I have known since the 7th Assembly. He's a matured man and he carries himself very, very well. He is well loved by all of us and a great representative. He is also the chairman of a committee on commerce, which I am a member of, and he handles the affairs of the committee very, very well. He's very humble, he's loved by all of us, and I think his people are really, really lucky to have him representing them.
For the last 3 years that I've been a member of the National Assembly, I've come very close with Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga, and I found him in the chamber to be a very calm person. I think so far he is one of the highest bill sponsors on the floor of the House. He has sponsored several bills that have passed third reading more than any other member in the House, and you find him also as a very eloquent speaker on matters of national interest. And so overall, I see him as a very intelligent, intellectual, and a very wonderful representative of Nigeria, not only his constituency. In the developed world, this type of people should be in the National Assembly for almost the rest of their life until they retire. And I assure you, the people of Abakaliki have a representative in Nigeria. And Nigerians have a representative in Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga. And for me, if we will be attaining that level of development as a nation, people like Sylvester Ogbaga should remain in the House in order to continue, to mentor many other young coming representatives in our country. And for any reason, you see that you don't want him to come to the House of Reps, I think the other way to go is the Senate. And I think he will be well fitted for that kind of position. And I hope that his people will listen to some of this wise counsel of ours and return him severally, because with him, Nigeria is better and well positioned in terms of lawmaking, oversight, and indeed contribution on national matters.
Well, from available testimonies and information reaching us from his constituency, I think he's doing well. From my relationship with him here in the National Assembly, it has been wonderful. In Ebonyi, he's our caucus leader, having been here for 3 consecutive terms. We understudied him in several things and in so many areas. because I am a first-timer at the National Assembly, praying that we do his part by coming back here and coming again and again, as many times as we want. But that would demand effective representation on the side of the people. Because every politics is local. The people who have to send you, then you have to represent them effectively. I think from my assessment, Ogbaga is a very strong politician and a very strong voice in the National Assembly. This 8th Assembly that I've met him, there's a strong voice there. And down home is one of the personalities we have in Ebonyi State that carry a lot of respect from the leaders of the state and from even the downtrodden. I think Ogbaga is a very good man.
I've known him since 1996, politically speaking, when both of us were in DPN, and then by the special grace of God, both of us became council chairmen. He was chairman Abakaliki local government area, and I was chairman Afikpo North local government area in 1999. So I have known Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga for quite some time. What I see of him today is the quintessential Sylvester Ogbaga. That is the same way he was when we were council chairman. A very unassuming character, highly respectful, a man of great integrity, a very honest man. That's how I have known him, and I think he has exhibited much of that here at the National Assembly. Presently, he is our caucus leader. He has been here much longer than any one of the rest of us. We are 6 from Ebonyi State. I think, yes, Honorable Ogbaga is the oldest amongst us, and clearly the mantle of leadership has fallen on him to lead this 8th Assembly of the community of Ebonyi State House of Representatives members. And I must say he has acquitted himself very, very well. He has led us very well.
Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga believes in educating the youths and has matched words with action as he built new schools, renovated existing ones, and provided scholarship to those in tertiary institutions of his constituency.
He has a lot of people he has given scholarship to in the constituency. And these people that have received his scholarship, they are in batches. Ever since he was voted in, each batch passes out and another batch continues. It doesn't stop at giving a specific number of people. He helps others, the sick, the needy. He has brought support to many.
I know him from the time he was the council chairman of Abakaliki local government. Of course, within the time, in fact, I benefited much from his bursary award program that was initiated for the people of tertiary institution at that point in time. In fact, I was a beneficiary, and from that point in time, I continued with his policies and the program.
You see, as a teacher, you are closest to the grassroots. You are closest to formation of life of the youngest level of people. And in doing that, you feel their pain. Sometimes if you even want to visit parents, you know, there are where motorcycles cannot even enter. You see the type of water they drink. You see the type of school you teach. Some sit on the floor. And if some sit on the floor, there is a lot of distraction. Some even sit under mango trees to study. And in the local government where I serve, I know the problems associated to rebuilding a school, provision for primary schools. It's a very difficult situation where you even have talented people in some areas. You cannot get them to the level you want them. So with all these issues, I was pressed to see reasons why administrators mostly do not have the will to make these provisions.
That has been helping me a lot because it was as if he picked me up when all my hope was gone.
Wow.
Yes, because he helped me, he guided me build my dream. Because I don't know, without him, I wonder where I would have been now. I don't think I would have been in school by now. So he has really helped me. Because right now I'm a student and I have nothing to worry about. Yes, I focus and study. A man who is not related to me in any way picked me up from nowhere and decided to fund my education and take care of me to this level because I'm in final year now.
Okay.
And he has been funding my education since year 1.
Wow.
So I see no reason to disappoint him. So my promise to him is to study very hard and come out with flying colors.
Actually, I withdrew from the institution. Then when he picked me up, I was there even trying to gather money to pay back my school and come back to school. I was frustrated. Then there was no help at any angle. So I was frustrated. I was there hustling for the money to come back to school. People were like laughing at me. Friends were like laughing at me. I can't just forget what this man did to me. I'm very grateful to him. Very, very grateful. I don't know how to appreciate him, but I know that God Almighty will reward him very well.
In my constituency, I looked at people who are less privileged. For instance, brilliant children who lost their parents and the mother, or completely orphans who cannot pay their school fees. Majorly, I picked some of those people and gave them my scholarship. My scholarship is not competitive. It is on the area of cannot do, the helpless. And it is working out for me. And amongst those people, you see some intellects who would have been suppressed to zero. But with that scholarship, they are doing their best. We also had to intervene on school buildings, school projects, seats, through our so-called, argued constituency outreach. But if you check where they are directed to, it is on the special need of the people at the grassroots. So there is nothing one can do for somebody who is learning than providing a conducive atmosphere of learning. I made mention sometime of a situation where a child is learning under trees. Once there's atom of raindrops, the class closes. But when there is an atmosphere conducive for learning, in a building where the blackboard visibilities are shown, you can see the child progress, ask questions without interference of weather. So these are the things I try to channel some of my constituency projects into. Many school blocks, many provision of furnitures, also printed some exercise books to alleviate the problems of people who cannot even buy a science book and share to schools. I've also done some competition, debates, which so many schools participated, and people were happy. What we do here is debate. So you must groom people who will also take over from the generation we have at the moment And they can only do that successfully when they have the rudiments of things you can do to appear on a very good debate when you are in the chamber, when you are in a court as a lawyer, when you are wherever you find yourself. Even ordinary arguments, debate leads you to fluency in speaking. So I undertook that, and I've also done sports competition, catching them young for schools within my constituency. So really, we looked at that direction of my primary home, which is education and schools where I grew up from. So these are the major things I did in line with my profession as an educationist.
As a true representative of the people and one who craves for development, he has attracted several projects to his constituency. Projects that have brought about infrastructural development, human development, and capacity building to the delight of his constituency.
When you talk of infrastructures, he has established, he has given us a lot of schools, a lot of bridges, many things like that.
Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga has demonstrated his love for human development through provision of skill acquisition programs, donation of food items, and donation of tools to artisans of his constituency.
Yes, I undergone a training fishing. It was like a dream to me when I was one of the beneficiaries of the empowerment scheme.
As a member representing Abakaliki Federal Constituency, which I'm one of his constituents, I know we've really benefited from him. Ranging from his empowerment, youth empowerment programs, women, scholarship programs. So many people have benefited from him directly or indirectly. In fact, as I talk with you, from the year, from 2011 up till now, almost 2/3 of the bike that operates in Abakaliki metropolis is distributed by him to the youth of this constituency. Single-handedly.
In succession, he has touched a lot of lives in his constituency. He is the only person who has made me know that in that capacity, he can establish a lot of people across the constituency. So many people have benefited from him. Almost every compound in the constituency have received his support. He is a man, ever since I know him, in that capacity. He has established a lot of people, artisans, in fact, so many of our people who are lying waste in the villages. He has established industries, many industries for them. Like a lot of them have been engaged in barbering saloon. A lot of them have been engaged in one handwork in one way or the other. So many a times he has in his program, in his empowerment programs, he gives out generators, motorcycles, like a lot of equipment for the youth to start up something for themselves. He has made a lot of youth engaged in self-employment. They don't look for jobs elsewhere.
And I done training for the trainer service. Okay. Empower me. As you can see, I'm feeling comfortably from the business and training myself in the school, feeding my people. In fact, my life has changed.
Naturally, in a Nigerian context, every politician from every aspect of election is deemed equal. The governor, the senator, the House of Assembly member, the House of Reps members, chairman of local government. They look up to us for provision of amenity. But that is not the primary assignment of a lawmaker. With all these issues, I was pressed to see reasons why administrators mostly do not have the will to make these provisions. Even health facilities was a very difficult task. I remember there was the first health facility I provided for my community. In short, I had to pay fine for bringing it in because of what they believe in, that it was not even worth bringing health facility to a particular area, being an ancestral home. But today, to God be the glory, that's the only cock crowing within that environment. In Nigeria today, especially when you have a government that made a lot of promises and are not able to fulfill any of those promises. In the House today, I'm here as a minority member of the House of Representatives. The government in power promised 3 million jobs annually to the youth. And today, we cannot see even one of those employments. If you look back here, a heap of CVs. And you can't watch this youth go wrongly. With the meager things you get from your salaries and allowances, you try to make provision for where these youths can take leverage on and allow their life to continue happily. So if you don't give these little things we do, you will see them start getting into pilfering, stealing, into odd activities that might lead them into prisons. And if you do this, you save them from that axis and bring them to think positively about how they can do without government job. If you look at the constituency project, for instance, constituency project, most Nigerians believe that money is given to members. No, money has never been given to any members. Cash. You have a figure, you know. Propose what you want to be done at any given area where you think those things are lacking. Minor things. Some of the things I first took was the primary school blocks in some major lacking areas. First happened in Enyigba, it happened in my community, it happened in Abiunu, it happened in Ogbaga. You see, with all this, you tried to save situations. You do an intervention in a critical areas that those people at the grassroots cannot get the government at the state or at the national to do. So we are very close to the grassroots and can always feel their pulse. So these are the things that spur us into doing what we are doing.
The high level of commitment and zeal with which Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga has dispatched his legislative duties so far is one that is worthy of emulation. No wonder many are craving for his re-election, and like the saying goes, one good term deserves another.
If you go about interview people, you will now see that people are ready to ask him to continue in as much as he lives. So because of his magnanimity and his tropical nature,
his good record so far.
People are always ready to ask him to come back. In fact, if Constitution does not permit that, the people of this constituency are even ready to go to the National Assembly and ask them for amendments so that the man will continue. He's so nice to the people.
Wow.
And that is why even now there are quotas, even the Izino they use for it. I've asked him to come back for 2019. And likewise, some other quotas at this state are asking him he should continue. Of course, I wouldn't know whether he have made up his mind that he should go, but people are agitating for it. He has not formally declared, but I know, even I'm talking to you, good number of the youth, I'm representing the entire youth of Iziklan, making 3 local governments. They have come to me and we have asked him to come out from 2019, but have not formally declared. And we are continuing to ask him, let him come, because that is the type of representation we want. The man is not just, he have made us to know that legislation is not just making laws. In fact, he's combining the work of legislation and that of the executive, because most of the project is executed here and there is by him. So ordinarily, it is not a work or a duty of a legislature to make routes, to make all these things, all this infrastructure development, but he's doing it. And I know he's doing this from his personal pockets.
Okay.
Each time, year in and year out, we always feel the impact of his constituency projects he attracted to us by at the Legislative Assembly. So with that, we don't have any other choice than to ask him to continue.
Whenever we are out, go out inside the market, besides work of place, that they're always talking good about him. So what I will tell them is, let our youth, our upcoming leaders, let emulate his leadership strides. The man is a good man. Even from 2019 election is fast approaching, I will still vote for him.
He keep on bringing this support every year. I think it has been a yearly program since he entered the office. And also, I forgot to tell you that myself personally is here representing an association that has cut across 3 wards of his local government in Ogbaga. So the association is Ogbaga Progressive Association in his local government, duly registered. And this association is aimed at embarking and in fact queuing behind the government in power. And we are doing wonderfully well. The association has adopted this man that in fact we have a plan to officially adopt him as our candidate come 2019. It doesn't necessarily matter how long he has stayed, but how well he is doing. And since he's doing actively very well, I stand the ground to advise people to vote the person that have been tested and trusted, because we have tested him and we trust him. We know what he will do, because believing in his past antecedents, we have that view that what he has in mind to do more is better, far more than what he has done, because since he has the feeling of the people and he knows he's a man of the grassroots, so he knows all we need, and it's better for us to be behind him.
What I'll be telling them to join hands together and support him, even if you want to go 100 times, let him go back there. For sure, as you can see, for the past one as he's done, he's doing well, employing people, empowering people, buying machine here and there. I believe if he went back to the seat, he will do more than
So, I will advise my colleagues, my friends, because he's a man of good deeds. So I will support him, and I will also encourage others to support him as well. Because I believe I'm not the only one who is under his scholarship. There are so many others who are still under his scholarship. So I will advise others that we should put hands together to support him as far as he wants to go.
The most important thing you do to the people is to allow them have access to you. You have listening ears. Even when you cannot provide what they want, you'll be able to advise properly. You don't cage yourself off from the people, because definitely the people are the tools you use to arrive to where you are. So for me, it is my belief that I came from the people, I belong to the people, and I can allow them access at any time. I don't use security, police, or army or anything. I'm free-minded because I'm close to my people. They are my security. They protect me. I don't ask questions whether I'm safe at any place. Be it on a ceremony, be it on burial, even on crisis areas. I can go there because I feel my people lost me and I'm protected by their presence. So these are the things they look at. I also think of what they want. I don't do project without consulting my people to get their needs, their immediate needs. We prioritize on all the things we do. So, and as somebody who read community development offers you opportunity of developing your place without stress. You join hands with the people, take decision on what to do, and then come up with what interests them, not what interests you or what you make money from. I don't believe in the issue of white elephant project. There are little things the grassroots needs. They need water, they need school, they need health facilities, and other small things that keep their lives going. So it is my belief that I'm close to them, they are close to me, and I listen to them. And when it is time for them to listen to me, they listen to me.
I know he has also attracted a lot of projects to his constituency. And for all these reasons, I think his constituents should be very proud, very, very proud to have somebody of his experience. Here at the National Assembly, what counts most is experience. You don't buy it anywhere else. You only achieve it by passing through the hallowed chambers of the National Assembly and, of course, passing through the environment of the National Assembly. Chief Sylvester Ogbaga has done that for 12 years, and I think his constituents can only but be very, very, count themselves very lucky to have somebody who has been there back to back 3 good times, going to the 4th term, I think. And on this note, I will recommend these people, they can only but gain more from him. Like I said, the benefit of having a representative here is a representative who has that wealth of experience. He knows the pressure points. He knows where to touch and things will reach his constituents. He knows what to do during the appropriation period, and so on and so forth. Speaking for myself, I'm not his constituent, but as somebody I know very well, I'll be very happy to see him here beyond 2019.
Right Honorable Sylvester Obinna Ogbaga is still ready to replicate his high-level performance.
Yeah, with all my contributions at the floor of the House, I believe my people are happy about it, and whenever I ask for a return, they would always refer to what I've been able to do and comfortably approve of it, because we say in our party slogan, we say power to the people. The power belongs to them, and they give it to whoever they desire. And what I'm doing are those things I feel they desire, and at the time I ask for it, definitely they will respond to me positively.
His legislative interests border on national issues, local government autonomy, education, youth development, and empowerment. He is the chairman, House Committee on Commerce, member, House Committee on Army, member, House Committee on Labor, Empowerment and Productivity, member, House Committee on Legislative Budget and Research, member, House Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission, member, House Committee on Youth and Social Development. He has bagged several awards such as Best Local Government Chairman 2000, Golden Award 2001, which was historical, Best Accounting Officer, Primary Education Board, Ebonyi, Best Executive Chairman, Abakaliki Local Government. Honorable Sylvester Ogbaga has proven he is a lawmaker with a difference. There is no doubt that the people of Abakaliki Izzi Federal Constituency, his party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the nation at large need more men like Honorable Sylvester Obinna Ogbaga.
To his enemies.
Member